There has now been 10 Premier League managers who have won the title in the last 26 years. Some have gone on to dominate English football with title after title, and others have not done so well for themselves since. Here are the 10 Premier League winning managers and where they are now. Number 10, Pep Guardiola. Pep won the title in glorious fashion, breaking so many records in their dominant display of the 2017-18 season. Guardiola's stock since he joined Manchester City has never been so high. After the season had finished, Guardiola signed a 2-year extension with the club until 2021, potentially the longest time he has ever spent at a club. Number 9, Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte came in as Chelsea manager after one of the worst seasons they have had under the Roman Abramovich era has begun. After being way off any of the European spots, Conte came in and totally rejuvenated the squad, making them Premier League champions. This season, things haven't gone anywhere near as well as the club would have wanted, once again falling out of the Champions League, and once again will be playing Europa League football. Conte delivered an FA Cup beating Manchester United, but that could not be enough to save his job with Abramovich, no stranger to swinging the axe. Number 8, Claudio Ranieri. In the biggest shock ever in the Premier League, Claudio Ranieri took over relegation favourites Leicester City to Premier League champions. Ranieri was hailed as a genius. Everyone couldn't believe what the Italian had achieved at the King Power Stadium. During his second season, the Leicester train totally fell apart, with the club finding themselves just 1 point above the relegation zone. Ranieri was sacked as manager despite leading the club into the knockout stages of the Champions League. Replacement Shakespeare kept Leicester up, but was sacked early into the following season. In the summer, Ranieri joined Nats, guiding the French side into 9th place in Ligue 1. Was sacked by the club after just 1 win in their final 8 games. It is crazy to think how fast Ranieri's stock has sank in the last 2 years. Number 7, Jose Mourinho. Mourinho, during his second season at Chelsea, won the title to bring it back to Stamford Bridge for the first time in 5 years. Mourinho's side has always been known for a very defensively solid side, with the likes of Eden Hazard and Diego Costa having a huge impact in the final third. As well as a Premier League title win, Mourinho also guided the Blues to League Cup glory. Mourinho's side in the next season completely fell apart, losing 9 of their opening 16 games that saw Chelsea in 16th place. Clearly Mourinho had lost the dressing room and the Chelsea staff had no other choice but to sack him. In the summer of 2016, Mourinho took over at Manchester United and won the League Cup and the Europa League in his first season. Before United finished second in their following season, their highest finish since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club. Mourinho is going into his third and potentially his final season with the Red Devils, and he needs to get this one right or he will face the exit door. Number 6, Manuel Pellegrini. Manuel Pellegrini won the Premier League title in 2013-14, overcoming the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea. Pellegrini also won the League Cup in that season. In the next 2 seasons at the Etihad, the Chilean won the League Cup again, and in his final season he took Manchester City to the semi-finals of the Champions League, the furthest Manchester City have ever gone in the tournament. Pellegrini left in 2016 after his contract came to an end, with Pep Guardiola replacing him in the Manchester City dugout. Pellegrini joined Hebei China Fortune in August 2016 and has spent nearly 2 years there before resigning in May and joining West Ham as manager. Number 5, Alex Ferguson. Probably the best manager the Premier League has ever seen. Ferguson won an incredible 13 titles, exactly half of the Premier League titles given out. Ferguson is one of the most decorated managers of all time, winning 5 FA Cups, 4 League Cups and 2 Champions Leagues. At the beginning of May 2018, it was announced Sir Alex Ferguson was in hospital after suffering a brain hemorrhage. However, recently he has been cleared to come home and is getting better at home, and I wish him nothing but the best in his recovery. Number 4, Roberto Mancini. Roberto Mancini produced one of the craziest moments in Premier League history, when City came from behind in stoppage time against QPR to win the title, something that has gone down in history. Roberto Mancini also won the FA Cup in 2011 against Stoke, the first trophy City had won for 35 years. Mancini got sacked in 2013 after losing the FA Cup final to relegated club Wigan Athletic, Mancini has gone on to manage Galatasaray, Inter Milan and Zenit St. Petersburg, and recently was appointed manager of the Italian national team after they missed out on the World Cup. Mancini included former Manchester City player Mario Balotelli in his first Italian squad. Number 3. Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti is another hugely successful manager ever. Ancelotti won the Premier League in his first season at Stamford Bridge, with his side scoring a then record of 103 goals in that season, as well as picking up the FA Cup. In his second and final season with the club, Ancelotti finished second in the Premier League, but failed to pick up any silverware that season, and Ancelotti was sacked 2 hours after their final game. Since leaving English football, Ancelotti has managed PSG, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, in that time becoming a serial winner, winning the Champions League, Ligue 1 and the Bundesliga. Ancelotti was sacked in September of last year after a crushing defeat to PSG in the Champions League. Since leaving Germany, Ancelotti has spent a lot of time watching English football, seemingly wanting to return to the Premier League. However, in May he was announced as the new Napoli manager. Number 2. Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger is another legend on this list. Wenger spent 22 years at Arsenal, but this summer that has come to an end. During his 2-decade spell in England, won the Premier League 3 times, including 1 invincible season, 7 FA Cups, and overseeing the build of the Emirates Stadium, and the financial restrictions that come to that. The Premier League will be a strange place without Wenger, but could be the best for the future of Arsenal FC. Number 1. Kenny Dalglish. Dalglish oversaw Blackburn Rovers when he won the Premier League in 1995, thanks to his fantastic strike partnership between Alan Shearer and Chris Sutton. Dalglish is always remembered for his time at Liverpool, but it's easy to forget his triumphs at Blackburn Rovers. Dalglish went on to manage Newcastle United and Celtic between 1997 and 2000. 11 years after his last job, Dalglish returned to management in 2011, joining Liverpool. During that spell at Anfield, Dalglish won the League Cup, but continually failed to get the club back into Europe, meaning Dalglish was sacked 18 months after taking it over. Dalglish since has been involved behind the scenes, as well as getting involved with charity work, as well as having a stand named after him at Anfield. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please check out our other list videos. I am Mike, and I will see you soon.